I wanted to talk about our blind spot, and I want to talk about accepting ourselves because that was one of the things that I really had to cultivate in my practice of authenticity, in my path of authenticity. And to do it with inner peace, it's been a journey. And I remember before I started to accept myself, I was in denial. Let me start with that. I was in denial about me accepting myself. I used to be the person that would be like pretending she's not bothered. I used to be on that energy. And it was because I wasn't accepting myself. I wasn't accepting how I was feeling. I was so disconnected from my emotions in a way because I didn't want to see myself. I was like, ugh, I don't want to go there. I was operating out of that energy that you got to avoid your feelings. You got to leave your feelings at the door. So I wasn't even on that. And then I began to practice self acceptance. I began to experience self acceptance. I began to look at myself from a different lens. And when that happened, y'all, my relationships shifted tremendously. The things that before I wouldn't express, I started to express. The things that before I used to take personally, I started to appreciate. Like the things that before used to send me into an emotional roller coaster and spiral, I started to learn from. And this is what I know this is really powerful. And especially for those of us that are intuitive leaders, we are constantly in a space where we're giving to others. We're giving and we're giving and we're giving. And there are so many expectations of us on how we are to show up and what is the right way of being and the wrong way of being. And whether we are aware of it or not, most of us have learned to reject ourselves, especially the parts that we don't like. I wasn't moving in that energy. Like I was rejecting so much of myself because I didn't like it, because I wasn't living up to my own high standards. Like my standards were so high, I wasn't meeting them. And I know that that's also what happens to many people that are attracted to me, especially if you're watching this video, because you want to uplevel your inner peace. And in order to be able to do that, we need to understand that authenticity. You got crazy outside for a second. We got to understand that authenticity requires self acceptance. And if you're going to be the most authentic version of yourself, you're going to require, you are required to accept yourself, to accept the parts that you don't like with the same energy that you accept the parts that you love. And that's why this is so important for us to talk about, because this is one of the things that keeps us in that energy of victimhood. This is one of those blind spots that we want to look at. And when we look at it, our life just transforms. Some of us are avoiding and are blocking ourselves from the energy of inner peace because we don't want to accept ourselves, y'all. And I want you to have that energy of inner peace. I want you to amplify it, because when you amplify it, you start a chain reaction with everybody around you. Everybody gets better because you get better. It's just a beautiful thing.